The story begins with a college girl named Yeonhee and her friend Naeon. They sit in class, listening to a lecture, when Naeon asks if Yeonhee is coming to the semester kickoff party. Yeonhee refuses. Naeon tries to persuade her, reminding her that she is already sleeping over that night so they can go for hair removal together the next morning. Yeonhee corrects her and says it is called a Brazilian wax. Naeon mentions that Sixi, the fine and sexy guy on campus, will be at the party, but unknown to them, he overhears them talking about the Brazilian wax. As Naeon leaves, she waves at Yeonhee and teasingly tells her to enjoy her wax session. Yeonhee feels uncomfortable about the look on Sixi's face when he hears them. She says his expression is unnecessary. Namwoo, her friend, tells her that was probably Sixi's most polite face. Still, Yeonhee cannot forget the way he looks at her, as if she is beneath him. Later at the party, she runs into Naeon and Sixi again. She wonders why he even comes since he hates gatherings like this. She soon learns he has just broken up with his girlfriend. Naeon sits with him, so Yeonhee joins them. After a few drinks, Yeonhee starts rambling. She insists there is nothing shameful about hair removal and says having body hair is worse. She claims hair removal is hygienic and good manners, and that people who avoid it are the strange ones. Sixi pauses with his drink, but Yeonhee keeps talking. She says letting hair grow out is disgusting and that humans are not animals. She calls it embarrassing, her words slurring as the alcohol hits her. Meanwhile, Sixi refuses another drink from his friend and says he will stick to what is already in his glass. Soon, Yeonhee feels sick and rushes to the bathroom. Coincidentally, Sixi also heads there. She throws up, and everything becomes blurry. In her drunken state, she grabs a razor and shaves him before losing consciousness. She wakes up still tipsy beside a random guy in a strange place. Fear and confusion flood her mind as she tries to piece together what happened the night before. Shame and self-blame consume her. The anxiety and curiosity inside her are overwhelming because, before that night, there had been no plans, no promises, and no agreement between them. Seeing Sixi gathering the waxed hair from the floor, Yeonhee rubs her aching head and asks what happened. Still hungover, she blurts out, "Did we do something last night?" She hesitates, then asks again, "What do you mean by agreement?" "Did we maybe, I can't remember anything." Sixi tells her that last night was unforgettable. Hearing that, she gasps in disappointment and says she never expected something like that from him. Instead of answering properly, he teases her. Frustrated, Yeonhee snaps that he is being too crass and that her memory loss is no excuse for him to act this way. She blames herself for everything, saying she was a mess because she was drunk and assumes he must have been drunk too. "Let's just be grown-ups," she says. "Nope. You're wrong," he cuts in, and the argument continues. "Excuse me," she exclaims in disbelief. He interrupts again, saying he should be the one upset. "You honestly don't remember anything?" he asks. Embarrassed and stuttering, she replies, "Well, I mean obviously we, did that, right?" She assumes they slept together. Sixi raises a brow and asks if she truly thinks they were intimate. She is not sure about anything, but she believes that must be the reason for his behavior. Though he teases her, he also wonders if his reputation is so terrible that she thinks he would take advantage of a drunk girl. He has just gone through a breakup and has no interest in getting involved with anyone else. Still doubtful about her memory, he decides to remind her. He shows her the small cuts she made on him the night before. When he reveals more marks, he asks if she remembers now. She can only stare in shock. With a smirk, he asks if it is normal for her to grab razors when she is drunk. He admits he can barely use the bathroom because of what she did. She shouts in disbelief. Slowly, it becomes clear that they had talked about Brazilian waxes the night before. She was supposed to get one, but in her drunken state, she ended up giving him one instead. Even as he shows her more proof, feeling slightly exposed, she struggles to believe it. After hearing everything, she begins to recall bits and pieces. Though her memory is still blurry, she apologizes sincerely and lowers her head in shame, unable to face him. Sensing an opportunity, Sixi uses her apology to make a request. He says anyone with a conscience would agree. Wanting to make things right, she asks what he wants, but his answer shocks her. He wants her to date him for 1 month. He quickly explains that she only needs to act as his girlfriend for 30 days. They will tell people they felt a spark last night and that he is taking responsibility. Confused, Yeonhee asks why he would want that. He admits he plans to embrace his bad boy image on campus and thinks she is the perfect person to help him, especially since she owes him. She yells at him for suggesting something so ridiculous, but he hints at revealing what happened if she refuses. Wanting the incident to stay secret, she reluctantly agrees. Distressed, she asks what she has to do. He stretches out his hand for a handshake and says they will work together to control the story of last night. Though she does not fully understand, she shakes his hand. He lays down the rules of their fake relationship. No childish feelings. No lust. No attraction. Besides, he adds, she is not his type. Offended, she fires back that he is not her type either. He smirks and says that is good to hear. She cannot believe she has agreed to something like this, but it is already done. Suddenly, her alarm rings. She has a morning class. He offers to drive her and says he still has more to discuss, but his phone starts ringing. Annoyed, she tells him to answer it and reminds him how popular he seems. Not wanting to spend more time with him, she declines his offer and postpones further discussion about their contract. She thanks him for letting her stay over, apologizes again for the cuts, and quickly leaves. Only then does he finally return the call. As Yeonhee walks towards school, she sighs. She may be out of his house, but what now? She wonders if she has completely lost her mind. Though she arrives on time, she feels uncomfortable wearing his clothes. The memory of their handshake and agreement makes her groan. At school, her friends immediately surround her, worried about her sudden disappearance the night before. Embarrassed, she explains that she got too drunk and went home early. One friend teases her, and guilt stings her chest, but she forces a smile. Naeon apologizes for leaving her alone at the party and tries to make up for it. When Yeonhee asks how, Naeon excitedly mentions a great part-time job she has found for her. Apparently, she went out of her way to secure the perfect position. As they talk, another friend studies Yeonhee's outfit carefully and suddenly asks if the shirt she is wearing belongs to Sixi. Startled, Yeonhee freezes. Yeonhee's friend keeps talking about the shirt, wondering since when she started caring so much about fashion that she now wears something so expensive and classy. He teases her, asking if she borrowed it from Sixi. Yeonhee looks shocked to hear that from him. He asks again if she really does not remember what happened last night, and both he and Naeon burst into laughter. Still desperate for answers, Yeonhee drags him to a quiet corner. In a low voice, she asks what happened the night before. He admits he did not see everything himself, but he heard that she threw up all over Sixi in the bathroom. He laughs as he says it and adds that Sixi was lucky he lived nearby. Then he suddenly pauses and asks if she spent the night at Sixi's place. At that question, sweat forms on her forehead. Nervous, she forces a laugh. Whispering quickly, she insists she only slept there and nothing more. He reacts loudly, making her panic. She begs him not to tell anyone. With a smirk, he assures her he has no plans to expose her, but he admits he enjoys watching the situation unfold. Meanwhile, Naeon stands nearby and asks what they are whispering about. She brings up the shirt again and stares at Yeonhee, waiting for an answer. After stammering for a while, Yeonhee tries to explain, but her friend interrupts and says he was wrong about her borrowing the shirt. He jokes that it turns out she cares more about fashion than they thought. They all laugh and move on. He quickly changes the topic and asks Naeon about the part-time job she mentioned earlier. Naeon explains that the nearby library is hiring part-timers and that a few students from their major have already applied. The job mainly involves organizing books and helping visitors. She says it is perfect for a student and that the staff mostly just sit around. Hearing this, Yeonhee says she has to apply immediately. Still curious, Naeon pokes her and asks if the shirt is from a luxury brand and how much it costs since she has never seen the label before. Defensively, Yeonhee says it was a gift. Nayeon's eyes widen as she asks if it is from her ex. Then she laughs, saying there is no way Yeonhee would accept anything from him. Offended, Yeonhee snaps and asks if she is crazy for even thinking that. Nayeon continues pressing her to reveal who gave it to her, but Yeonhee quickly changes the topic and says they will be late for class. Nayeon refuses to let it go and tells her not to keep her out of the loop. As they walk away, someone taps Yeonhee. It is the same friend from earlier. She glares at him and says he is the worst before heading off without him. He follows and warns her that she cannot hide the truth for long because the students in their major are sharper than they seem. He also says he would hate to see her Iron Lady reputation ruined. Suddenly, Yeonhee remembers Sixi's words about controlling the narrative of last night. She feels surrounded, as if everyone is attacking her from every side. She never expected the situation to spiral like this. It is getting out of hand, and she begins to wonder what Sixi is really thinking. Her friend keeps teasing her and brings up Sixi's past relationship. He mentions that Sixi dated one girl for 5 years and then broke up with her. He leaves the sentence hanging, filling Yeonhee with anxiety. Just then, her phone buzzes. It is a message from Sixi asking if she is at school. She replies that she just arrived. She is surprised he texted and wonders what he wants, then convinces herself it must be about their agreement. Nayeon calls out to her, telling her to hurry because Namwoo plans to treat them to spicy rice cakes later. As they walk, Yeonhee keeps thinking. If Sixi really dated only one girl for 5 years, why would he suddenly want a bad reputation? Maybe, she wonders, he still misses her. Later, in the bathroom, a woman stands at the mirror fixing her makeup while arguing on the phone. The man on the other end tells her he has a girlfriend. The woman trembles and says she cannot live without him. She threatens to kill herself. He reminds her they agreed to stop calling each other. She insists she has something important to say. He sounds exhausted and tells her he is done with her, done with the library job, and done caring about what she does. She demands to know why he is treating her this way and questions his love for her. She reminds him of everything she went through because of him and asks why he quit working at the library. She keeps asking if he truly never wants to see her again. He replies that the conversation is pointless. At the same time, Yeonhee accidentally spills something on her shirt. She rushes into the bathroom, desperately trying to wipe it off, but only makes it worse. She mutters to herself, blaming her messy eating. The woman on the phone threatens to harm herself in front of his house, furious, but he hangs up before she can continue. Staring at her reflection, she bitterly asks if that is really how things will end. She then notices Yeonhee struggling with her stained shirt and approaches her. She mentions that she owns the same shirt and says they must have similar taste. Yeonhee keeps scrubbing anxiously, worried about ruining it. The woman gently offers her a towel. Flustered, Yeonhee blushes and thanks her, silently admiring her calm presence. The woman smiles and says there are plenty of towels available. They exchange polite greetings as the tension slowly fades. Yeonhee finally changes into another outfit, but she waits for Sixi's shirt to finish drying. Thankfully, the stain is gone, it is only slightly damp now. She never imagines that one shirt could cause so much stress. Staring at it, she tries to piece together everything that happened that night. She still cannot believe she shaved him and left all those cuts on his skin. Meanwhile, Sixi is lost in thought. It has already been 2 days, yet everything still feels strangely foggy to him. Standing alone, Yeonhee forces herself to remember what really happened at his house. She recalls him pushing her hands away at first, but then holding them gently, almost like he is worried. She remembers him leaning over her, taking her hand, and telling her it is late. He assures her he will not do anything, so she should not worry and just go to sleep. He even says that if she feels uncomfortable with him staying, he can sleep somewhere else. But she tells him not to leave. The memories become clearer. She remembers insisting she will sleep on the floor. Sixi asks where he is supposed to sleep if she takes the floor. He holds her hands again and says he is not a pervert, though he smirks and jokes that maybe she is. She denies it, blushing deeply. Then she remembers him still holding her hand and playfully putting her fingers in his mouth, which makes her giggle because it tickles. She asks what he is doing. He lifts her hand and points out that she is still bleeding from the small cuts. Her fingers are damp, and he pulls them closer, admitting in a low voice that she is making him lose his patience. The memory makes her heart race. Snapping back to the present, Yeonhee mutters that she is tired of anything damp because of what usually follows. She feels overwhelmed that she is only remembering all this now. Disturbed by the images in her mind, she wishes she could go back to not remembering at all. Tears stream down her face as she wonders if that is truly all that happened that night. Her phone suddenly buzzes. When she checks it, she sees a notification from the same girl who lent her a towel in the bathroom. Yeonhee remembers how kind she seemed. Smiling softly, she scrolls through the girl's Stargram page and notices she has followed her back. Pausing on one photo, she sees a guy who looks like Sixi standing beside the girl. Did he take a picture with her? Are they friends? Or is she his girlfriend, she wonders. That cannot be possible, she reminds herself. He said he broke up with his girlfriend. Surely no one would leave a picture like that up if they were still together. She laughs nervously. Another message pops up, this time from Sixi. He asks her to meet him at the cafe by the main gate at 1 p.m. She almost forgot they were supposed to meet. When she arrives, he offers to buy her a drink. She orders an iced Americano. He orders 1 iced Americano and 1 iced chamomile tea, paying for both. She suggests they split the bill, not wanting to owe him anything else, but he does not mind paying. She tells him she will treat him next time instead. Curious, she asks if he prefers tea. He explains that caffeine makes him anxious, so he avoids it. She mentions that his shirt is still drying and that she will return it soon, but he shrugs and says she can keep it if she wants. She points out that it looks like a popular couple t-shirt. Surprised, he asks if she actually wore it to class, and she laughs awkwardly. Fidgeting, she finally asks about that night. Besides the shaving incident, did she say or do anything that might have been misunderstood? In response, Sixi teasingly places his finger in his mouth the same way he did before. Yeonhee immediately freezes. Nervously, she asks if anything else happened afterward. He repeats her own words from before, reminding her that she claimed she was a mess because she was drunk, and assumed he was the same. Her chest tightens as she prepares to press him further, but their drinks arrive. Sixi gestures for them to sit. He says he wants to clear everything up and promises to answer all her questions after they finish their drinks. Reluctantly, she agrees. Then he asks if she truly does not want to know what else happened that night. Instead of answering directly, he shifts the topic. If they are going to convince everyone they are dating, even though they were practically strangers before, they need to look convincing. He suggests an idea that might make her uncomfortable, so he wants to set some conditions first. Yeonhee stays silent, staring at him as he explains. Then he casually suggests they should show some public display of affection. Her eyes widen in shock. If you'd like us to continue this story, please leave a comment.